I'm here with Simon from Rio. Simon, there's a burning passion in your heart right here.
There is.
And
you know what it is?
I think the answer might be behind you
It is.
in terms of product, but I'm interested in starting with this passion of yours in terms of Spey and this kind of space and how it relates to Australia and New Zealand.
Well, Spey, for those who don't know, two-handed casting, generally considered a type of fly caster that has no back cast. So a roll cast is a perfect example. Spey casting started in Scotland in the 1800s, but now it's evolved to this most wonderful way, which is spey casting with very light rods for trout and bass and just smaller species. And these rods are called trout spey rods now. This is kind of like the new term. It used to be called switch rods, but they've got lighter and smaller, and they go down in the trout spey scheme of things. They go down to a 2/8. So really.
And we're talking two hands here or one hand?
These are two-handers, and so that's a really good point because when you take a two-handed rod and you try and correlate it with a one-handed rod, you have a 3-line size difference. So the 2/8 two-handed rod is the same as a 5-weight one-handed rod.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? It's kind of confusing.
So you're adding weight.
You're adding weight, absolutely.
With two hands makes more than twice the weight.
Well, it's effortless.
Two and a half times.
A lot of people are doing it because it's effortless on the shoulders. They're doing it because it's easy to cast. There's no long strokes to do. It's very good when you've got obstructions behind you. So it's really become very popular here in America. And I think it's sublimely fun. And so I think everyone should do it. You're a fool if you don't.
Is this a big water thing we're talking about? Because I think a lot of people get locked into that concept, and certainly at home of, it's only useful for tailwaters and that sort of thing.
Not at all.
But what I'm sensing from you is it's a bit more diverse than that, or a lot more diverse.
Absolutely diverse. And there's two reasons it's diverse. One is the products now have come down to the 2/8 of the world, which is equivalent to a 5-weight. So it's like taking a regular 5-weight rod or a 6-weight rod on the river. So whatever outfit you use there, it's good for that. But also, it's with all the variations in line products, there are ones designed for big river, big streamers, big sink tips, but there's also ones designed for fishing dry flies and small soft tackles and spiders and little nymphs and fishing small streams. So the beauty about this whole thing we're talking about here is that these are designed to go on both one and two-handed rods. So this whole family, even if you don't get into the two-handed spey casting game, you can take your one-handed rod and put these things on and do all that same stuff. Exactly.
And you're just correlating the according weight up for
absolutely by that number 3. And so, for example, the tannish colour line is a Scandi. Right, that's called a Scandi line. That means it's got a long taper. And all that means it's going to land softly on the water. So if you fish spiders and dry flies and nymphs and light streamers and stuff like that, this is the perfect line for it. You just put this on, and you either do it on one-handed rod or these two-handed trout spays. It comes in 2 versions. This is just a head. You do have to have a running line to attach to it. And a lot of anglers don't like that kind of changeability. They don't want loops going up and down their rod rings. So
and which end is that going on?
It's going on the back end. On the back end. And then, to get around it, we have the trout spey where it's all integrated. So if it's in a box, it has a running line, it has a head, everything is on it. And all you do is you take this out of the box, put it on your reel, and off you go fishing. So that's an easier solution for most trout anglers. For those anglers who fish big lures and big streamers, there's the green version, and the green version is the Skagit. And the Skagit one is just a heavy foot line for big flies. So on this, you have to put a sink tip. And on the back end of this, you still have to put another running line. If you're into spey, you play the game of changing heads. So you might switch from that head to this head because you can do that with the changeability. But if you're new to spey and people are just kind of thinking about this, again, you don't want the head system. You want the integrated one. And again, this is the same type of thing. It's the same line as that. Running lines built in. You just whack it onto your reel, wind it up. You still need a tip on the front end. So a Skagit line is designed for a tip. And so, as I said, the whole idea of this is just to try and create this series of lines for one-handed and two-handed rods. As long as people remember that 3-line size difference, because otherwise they'll really crush a rod. If they put that on a regular 4-weight rod, boy, I wouldn't want to be in the warranty team of that rod company because something will go really wrong.
I'm sure you'd be able to help them out with Sage if people got into a bit of trouble.
Absolutely, we could sort that out. And so that's it. So that's the trout spear. And as I say, I'm excited by it because I really see this burgeoning growth in spey casting and trout spear with these two-handed trout rods and one-handed.
Yeah.
And what you were saying earlier about the popularity of that single-handed spey line in Australia shows that there's this interest in spey casting.
There is, yeah.
Now we have a lot more tools for that.
Yep.
Now we have a lot more tools. You can have the interchangeability and you can have the Skagits for throwing the big flies.
Yeah.
And so that is this InTouch family of trout lines.
Excellent. Well, we've got the tools. All we need now is the education from people who've done it for a long, long time.
Wait.
So,
Morse is all over, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think you're coming down to Australia soon as well.
Coming down November.
Maybe we can start spreading the two-handed love and,
just give me a
single-handed
chance.
spey.
Let me get in there with them, those rods and those waters and just show anybody who wants to watch, just come along.
I think we'll take you up on that.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on Flylight TV.
Can't wait. All right, mate. Nice to see you.